We are very focused on problems. We're not focused on throwing a technology against the market. And I think was so hard in construction over since when we started, even talking about digitization, whatever, 20 years ago, was always, everybody thinks we have a lot of data, but it's very hard to use it. And what's beautiful about what we have now is that generative AI can structure unstructured data. And that's what we're doing at Trunk Tools, right? We take all of the crap that comes in here, right? Like all of this unstructured mess of data. And I always love to bring this example here. Rob and Jeff, a question. When you have an average high-rise, $500 million high-rise project, you want to take a guess of how many pages of documentation you need to build a high-rise with, 30 floors. And with pages, I mean RFIs and submittals and schedules and blueprints and like everything that you have on a project management system. Do you want to take a guess of how many pages of documentation you have?
It's got to be thousands in reality, where in a perfect world, it's probably hundreds. But then humans get involved, it's got to be thousands, tens of thousands.
I did the pre-call, so I'm not allowed to answer on this one. Rob, this is all on you.
Ooh.
When we launched this first version like over a year ago, we received from a Suffolk construction site in New York. It was a $500-ish million job. We received 3.6 million pages of documentation.
Wow.
On a single job. What did you see? Promises the owner? Don't worry, I've built this exactly as specified on 3.6 million pages. Like, it's insanity and it's humanly impossible, right? And like, I think digitization in construction has actually made this problem worse, because while everything was paper and, we actually had to mail stuff around, like you tried to like really get it right on the blueprint on version 1 and so on. Then, digitization came around. It's so much easier. Everything, emails, like blah, 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 right? And it creates an amount of data that is completely unreasonable and humanly impossible. And what's beautiful about AI, what we do is, right, we take all the data and put it into, we structure it, but the AI structures it. So now what we're creating is like a data graph, a knowledge graph of all of the different data points out of 3.6 million pages. And I don't care what the input is. I don't care if it's a scanned PDF or a handwritten anything or like a 3D Revit file. We take all of this down and then we give it back to the human semantically. And what I mean with semantically is like through either like verbally or through text messages or so on, right? Like you have to take away all of what we call digitization over the last 10, 20 years with a complicated UI, and you have to train somebody and bring it back to what the human needs. I need a piece of information now. And the way a human receives a piece of information, it's through a sentence, through, whatever way of communicating, but make it as simple as possible. And that's why I'm not worried about people not wanting to adopt AI. It's really like, do you want to text Trunk Tools like, hey, whatever, like, what's the color of the wall in the lobby? And within a few seconds, we tell you it's Benjamin Moore, black, white, whatever. Do you want that? Or do you want a complicated UI where you need to find something and you need to figure out how to do your job?